Hi everyone, and welcome back to another edition to Hope for Humanity. Star Lord is here. I know that I haven't been keeping on top of this series due to the fact it's been quite the year. A lot of other things have been taking precedence lately, and I'm sure you all understand why. The reason I wanted to do this video, it's going to be a little bit different from the topics I normally talk about on Hope for Humanity. And the reason being is that it's just something I feel like I need to get off my chest right now. I'm really been getting rather annoyed. It's going to sound like maybe a bit of a rant video, but I've been getting really annoyed lately with the media, particularly the mainstream media. I've been reading stories in various magazines, newspapers, headlines, and as well as watching some clips from CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, all of these mainstream media that have been dominating the television networks and YouTube and so forth. The reason I wanted to address this is because there's been a lot of blatant lies, misinformation, disinformation being spread out there. And I don't understand how this is allowed to happen. I mean, I do in some respects understand, because basically the mainstream media is all, it's all part of the same conglomerate, and they're all working towards their own narrative, so they're putting information out there to the public. But it's very deceptive, extremely deceptive, and there's a lot of people out there who are aware of that and realize nowadays that the mainstream media is full of it. But there's a lot of people out there who still don't completely understand that. And this is what the video is for. It's for people who, like me, perhaps are extremely frustrated by what they're seeing taking place out there, and also for those who are confused and don't understand what's happening. The mainstream media is basically lying to us, and it has been for many years. A lot of people, like I said, now are aware of it. It's becoming, in my opinion, extremely obvious now. They will make statements, and I've seen this recently, make statements about what's happening in the world, what's going on in terms of, say, well, for example, Antifa. They say that it's a myth. It doesn't really exist. But it's not. It's not a myth at all. It's actually a thing. It's happening. It's actually been declared. Antifa was declared a terrorist group. And so, therefore, the mainstream media is downplaying it and acting like, no, it's all peaceful stuff that's going on right now. But it's not. It's absolutely not. They're barefaced lying to the public. And in terms of the QAnon posts that they keep putting out there lately, every day when I wake up, the first thing I see from Washington Post and New York Post and Atlantic and all of this stuff, every single day they have a new article about the QAnon, some conspiracy theory they say that has been taking over America and other places in the world. This is where I have an issue. Okay, I have personally been working alongside with a lot of QAnons over the past 6 months. I've had the pleasure to interview some of these people, talk with some of these people, and really get to know who they are and where they're coming from. Now, these people are not what the media is saying at all. They're calling them dangerous murderers, kidnappers, so forth and so forth. That has not been my experience at all with the QAnon. I am now working towards I have a goal for the future for my YouTube channel, not necessarily the tarot channel, but for a separate channel that I'm planning on doing, and this is going to become a big thing in the future. A lot of people are getting into independent journalism because of the fact that you can't really trust the mainstream media right now. So therefore, the last 6 months I have been working alongside of a lot of people, getting my information from various sources and learning how to do this independent journalism. And when it comes to the QAnons, believe me, these people have been a wealth of information for me. In terms of violent, these are not violent people, not that I've seen. Maybe there's a few rogue ones here and there. There are millions of QAnons all over the world. These are, from my experience, have been the most amazing people. They're have some of the most brilliant minds with the most amazing information. They're so informed, these people, way more so than anyone I've probably ever met in my life. Some of these people are incredibly brilliant, and it's been a pleasure to, I'm a person who likes to think, likes to engage in really good conversation, and these people deliver it in tenfold. So what I'm saying here is that they've been around for a very long time. There's millions of QAnon members all over the world. They're supporters, and there are people on the fringe like myself who are working alongside getting information from them, because quite frankly, they have the basic best information that I've been able to get in terms of what in the world has been going on. So when I work with these people and they give me answers and give me explanations, it makes so much sense. And here's the thing about the mainstream media: they're trying to portray them as some kind of crazy conspiracy group that is, just rogue and out there doing really, harmful and violent things. That is not the case. If there are so many members here, if it has been the case where there have been one or two rogue people who've gone, flipped their lids, so to speak, and went and done something crazy, well, you can't paint everyone with the same brush. So at the end of the day, if it's the same thing if you belong to a church congregation and there's hundreds of you, and one person goes out and does something, does that mean the whole congregation is, like, capable of doing what this person did? This is the whole thing. It's not the case, and they're trying to paint the QAnons with that, and it's not flying. As far as anyone knows who's been involved with this organization, who've actually taken it seriously, talked to these people, and realized that these are perfectly normal people. Most of them actually are professional people. They're lawyers, they're doctors, they're politicians, they're in Congress, they are military. A lot of them are military and ex-military people. These people are in the know. They have inside information about a lot of things, and they're the only one these days who actually seem to have an explanation or know what's actually going on. And a lot of the things that they are saying about QAnon, like they're a crazy conspiracy far right group that thinks the president is trying to go after fighting some deep state. Well, the reality is he is. He's said it himself. Those words have come out of his mouth. He has said it. He has said, I'm fighting the deep state. So it's not some bizarre theory that is coming from some crazy far right group. This is something that came out of his actual mouth. But then when they print the articles, they don't tell you that. So somebody who doesn't really know what's going on, who's not in the know, could look at the situation and go, oh, well, that must be what they're about. But anybody who's really, really gone in deep and actually done the research and knows exactly what the QAnon movement is all about, these people then understand where things are coming from. These are not dangerous people. Not in the slightest way are they dangerous. These are actually very knowledgeable, like I said, intelligent, caring, and supportive people. They're supportive towards each other, and they're supportive towards their cause. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's amazing. I think it's wonderful. They've been extremely supportive, and it's been a very difficult year. These people are the ones who are sort of giving some answers to people who are not understanding. They're confused, they're frightened, and these people, at least, like I said, have some answers for you. So on that note, that is one thing I wanted to bring to the attention about how the mainstream media is slanting things in one direction, like saying, Antifa, no, that doesn't exist, that's just a myth. It's not a myth. All of the stuff that they're telling you, they're slanting it. At best, they're biased. At the very worst, they are out and out blatantly lying to you. Okay, so this is what I wanted to bring to people's attention, because as many people that are aware of this now, I do talk to a lot of people, and they have finally decided to turn off their news and stop reading the newspapers because of this. There are still some news stations out there that are covering both sides. Of course, the mainstream media will tell you that Fox News, for example, is fake news, because the reason being is it's not biased. They'll tell you both sides of the story. So they don't seem to like that. They want to only push one agenda, one narrative. That's where they're going with things. And if you don't, buy it, then they'll just get backup from celebrities and other people who are basically part of this same, pushing that same narrative, because they're kind of all in this together. This is a certain group that are all in it together, and they're there to twist the minds of the people. And what's happening right now, we're seeing sort of like this fight back and forth of who's telling the truth here, who's not telling the truth. In terms of truth and facts, I tend to go with whatever has physically played out. Now, a lot of the things that they're telling you on the news is completely fabricated. If you actually do, and I'm not talking about fact check, because fact check is also bias. They have taken over fact check as well. If you notice that when you go to do the fact check, it's like, no, they're going to take a portion out that maybe has some misinformation, and then they're going to disregard the whole entire article or video or what have you and call it disinformation. Again, you need to do your own research. This is what we need to do as people who want to actually be informed. If you don't want to be informed, that's fine. You don't need to be informed. You can just bypass it and say whatever. And that's fine. That's your right to do that. But if you actually do want to be informed, it's driving you crazy because I don't know who can I trust, you can trust yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you really care, you really want to know what's going on, the information that you seek, it's out there. It's definitely out there, especially now. You just have to do the digs. You have to go out there and find out what's what. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to facts, again, numbers don't lie. Check your numbers. Look at the facts in terms of that. When you want to look at how many, whatever the situation is, how many this happened, how many that happened, just look at your facts, look at your numbers, and then do your own assessment on it. Also, too, look at in terms of if you're dealing with politics and looking at in terms of the administration and what they have done, instead of just listening to the television, again, CNN for your political report, why don't you go and do the research yourself? Look at there's facts and there's figures about what administration has done so far, what the prior administration has done, what everything is about. It's all out there. You just have to do the digs and don't be lazy about it, and just go in there and ask Google, because Google will not always, again, tell you the full story. You need to actually look for facts, not opinion, not Google's opinion, not someone else's opinion, but you need to go and look at the documentation yourself. What was signed in? What was this? What was that? Those are facts, because that's truth, because those are facts. They've come into actual play. So this is what you need to do in order to be informed nowadays, apparently. Like I said, there's going to be more and more, there's already a lot of news channels on the fringe popping up. Like there's One America, there's also the Next News Network. There's so many more popping up, and like I said, independent journalists out there on YouTube, on Twitter, and so forth. They're popping up everywhere, and I have a feeling in the future that's going to be more and more mainstream. The mainstream's already sort of ruined their own reputation by what they've been doing. So that's what I wanted to say. Star-Lord is signing off for now. Take good care. Let me know what you think in the comment section.